Alright, look, I'm not going to waste your time describing the Potter world. It's a billion-dollar franchise, and let's be honest, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know what Harry Potter is, and especially not someone who's clicking on a video with this title and this thumbnail. But what I can do is tell you the relationship I have with HP. I was raised in London, which means I was fully engrossed into the magic of the Wizarding world. Harry Potter is a staple of British culture, as much as Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Who. I would probably say more so. I have read the books more times than I can count. To be fair, I can't count that high, but I'm not here to be judged for my math skills. I'm here to be judged on my Harry Potter knowledge. So as I was saying, watched the movies, played the games. I even have the collector's edition of the chess set from Philosopher's Stone. But as my frontal lobe developed and I started looking at things a bit more critically, I noticed something that just changed things for me. The Wizarding world, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? And poor world building really bothers me. So since I came to this realization, me and the Potter world are now beefing. We are beefing. It is a one-sided beef, I will be honest about that.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
I seriously doubt that billionaire J.K. Rowling cares what I have to say, but, well, this is my YouTube video, so I'm going to say it anyway. If I could briefly compare the Wizarding world to Dune, my man Frank took into consideration every aspect of how the world needs to reflect the plot, why they can't just invade en masse, why they don't use guns, why there's a lack of computers, etc. Honestly, it's kind of a masterclass in world building. And unfortunately, while the Potter world is iconic, it's also filled with more plot holes than Swiss cheese. So I'm just going to go over some today. Just to be clear, while I might mention the games and the spin-off, in terms of world building, I'm only going to be keeping to the original series. Obviously, I'm not going to be covering everything. If I was to go over all the gripes that I have with the Potter world, this video would be like 7 hours long. And let's be honest, I'm not at Mauler's level yet.
Nani?
So in the comments section, just, let me know if you want me to do a part 2, but finish this video first, obviously. So what inspired this video in the first place, and kind of what sent me down a rabbit hole of realizing all the other plot holes, is the economics of the Wizarding world. It doesn't make any sense. So firstly, all wizards finish their education at primary school level, which means normally, you go from primary school to high school. They don't do that. They go straight to Hogwarts to learn magic, Wizarding world stuff. And you might be thinking, oh, but I bet they do maths and English and science, but they just don't show us it because we only care about the magic. And you know what? You're actually wrong, because I had the 5th book. I had all the books, but the 5th book came with the school schedule. And guess what wasn't on there? There was no muggle education. It was all charms, transfigurations, and potions. Okay? So let's say you're an 11-year-old boy and you dream of being a marine biologist. Nope, not happening. Maybe if you want to hunt krakens or deal with carnivorous mermaids, sure. Pilot, nope, get on a broom. Astronaut, no chance, mate. Do you know why?
You're a wizard, Harry.
Hell, even things outside of school. If you wanted to be a ballerina, there ain't no after-school activities in Hogwarts, and you're in a castle in Scotland in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you can pop over for a quick lesson. You're basically forced to be a wizard. And you might be saying, you know what, that's actually a great exchange. Sure, I might give up on a day-to-day job, I might give up on ballet or something, but in exchange I learn magic. And magic is amazing, and I can use magic to get a magic job. To that, I literally ask, what magic job? There's literally 7 magic jobs in the whole universe, which is author, shopkeeper, aura, magic beast handler. I hope you like hanging out with dragons. You can work for the government. You can be a trust fund baby, but you didn't get a lot of control about that. It's more when you were born. I guess you could be a bus driver for the night bus. But seriously, if you do think I'm missing any, comment below, what jobs you think I'm actually missing, because magic beasts are also a problem, because they do a lot of the work. I mean, you can't be a banker because they're all goblins. On top of that, there are problems like magic items that steal your job, like the sorting hat, or, ghosts, the book talks about a ghost teaching history. And, sad to say, a lot of them have house elves, which is free labor. No rich people's hiring a personal assistant when they can have free labor. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying they're not hiring. And if you do own a business or become a shopkeeper, how do you stay profitable? People are going to buy 1 beer and then use the refill spell. So what, you're going to sell 1 beer per customer? That's no way to run a profitable business. And I know what you might be saying, I bet they have a spell to prevent you from refilling the cups. Go to Camden, go to Shoreditch, go to any muggle place that doesn't have the spell. Hell, apparate to Barley and do some shots there. I'm sorry, I'm not going to a wizard pub when I can basically drink for free somewhere else. I am not that loyal. And now obviously I'm missing a very iconic role in Harry Potter, which is a teacher. Being a teacher is a very noble profession, they have my respect. But there are like 5 schools in Harry Potter. Even if on the higher end we want to go with like Hogwarts Legacy and say there are 7 schools, right? From what we've seen, there's about 13 teachers per school. So maybe on the higher end, there's like 200 teaching jobs. And they live till like old, man. Like Dumbledore's been teaching since World War II at least. And I mean, they don't retire. We haven't seen anyone retire. And they live forever, which is already a problem in a world where magic beasts take your jobs and there's not that many jobs to go around. Like just imagine, okay? You're a young lad. You just finished Hogwarts, you did your owls. I mean, you didn't do legendary, you didn't kill a dark wizard and you're not a once in a generation prodigy, but like, you did well. And they're like, you know what, here's your certificate. Welcome to the real world. And do you know what happens there? They tell you to fuck off and be unemployed. There ain't no jobs for you. You can't do a muggle job. There's no owl to GCSE exchange. And there's no wizarding jobs because you ain't beating an old man with 60 years worth of experience under his belt. Why would they hire you? And if I'm being honest, this all leads to my next point, which is, why do wizards need money? Honestly, why could they possibly need money? I understand why we need money, because we exchange money for goods and services, but wizards do all the services themselves. There's refill spells, there's repair spells, there's transfiguration spells. It's not like you're doing sewing where you have to master something, it's literally 2 words in Latin and you're sorted. Okay, maybe there's like some rare items like a wand and a broom and a high maintenance screaming monster book. I don't know who thought that was a great idea. But like, apart from very few items, you're basically living cost-free, okay? The cost of living crisis is not hitting you. We've seen Harry use the refill spell on a cup with alcohol. And we've seen it used at Weasley's wedding, right? It's not like a rare spell. And don't tell me it was a special cup. It wasn't. It was a regular cup with alcohol. I'm pretty sure it was wine. So all I'm saying is you buy 1 bottle of Coke and you're set for life, okay? You buy a bottle of rum, a carton of milk, a bottle of water, and you just keep refilling that until you lose the cup, which, let's be honest, plastic lasts longer than you will. I'm sure there's probably also a spell for cereal, right? Which moves on very nicely to my next point. How are the Weasleys poor? I remember seeing a meme online about vampires, and the tweet said that you never see poor vampires, and someone responded saying like, if you're still poor after 200 years, then just step into the sun. And the Weasleys are given the same energy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, not having as much money as some people. The reason why the Weasleys and the vampires are in the same boat is because they have privilege, okay? They have special skills and abilities that could easily make them money that they're not utilizing, which means they kind of deserve to be poor, I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong, if the Weasleys were minimalists or Amish, or they thought there was some kind of morality in poverty, I'd understand, but they don't. They're constantly complaining about not having enough money, and, it's obviously a big stress for them, and Arthur wants more money, but like, how? And why? Like I said, you basically live for free. So don't tell me it's because they have a lot of kids. It doesn't matter when you have the refill spell. And people make fun of Ron for having secondhand clothes, but why? If you have the repair spell, Reparo, all secondhand clothes are basically new. And if you're telling me it's about size, why? There is literally a spell that lets you change the size of the thing. It's called Engorgement, and it was used by Harry on a giant spider. You can change the size of something, you can make it like new, which means secondhand doesn't make a difference. I'm starting to think that Ron's family just generally hate him, and they don't want him to have nice things. I'm standing on business with that. But I think the most important fact about all that is, you can literally convert gallons, which is Harry Potter money, to GBP, pound sterling, which means start a business. You don't need to stay in the wizarding world to make money. From the top of my head, here are some businesses that you could start as a wizard in the Muggle world. Dental repair. Hermione fixes her teeth in a way that she claims that even her dentist parents would struggle with. You might be like, oh, but you need a medical degree. Sure, partner with a real dentist. Literally walk up to him and be like, yo, mate, You get the clients, you be the face, you hire me as an assistant, we put them under anesthetics. I perfectly fix their teeth using magic. Something that would take you hours takes me minutes, which means more clients, we share the profit, we make bank. Let's do it. And he'll be like, bet. But then you might be like, okay, you can't tell muggles about magic. Fine. Open a bar. Some of the most expensive parts about owning a bar is the stock. Again, the refill spell solves that problem. Bottle of vodka, bottle of Jack Daniels, maybe a bottle of tequila, and keep refilling those suckers. You can't do it in front of the muggles, obviously, but you go into the back room, use the refill spell, they'll just assume that you brought in a new bottle. Oh look, that drunk guy just broke my chair. Reparo. Maybe you have to hire some staff, like a security guard and some bartenders, but let's be honest, the profit margin would be insane. Another one, fast food restaurant. Hermione was shown that she can make copier food. And also we've shown that you can engorgement food, which means that solves your problem with stock. You can make the chicken bigger and then clone it. And yeah, I know that they mentioned that like the nutritional value doesn't increase. It's the same nutritional value, it just gets spread out against a larger quantity. And to that I say, so what? Have you been to fast food restaurants? Nutrition isn't exactly high on their priority list. I'm pretty sure there's more nutritional value in a single kidney bean than there is an entire fast food meal, burger and chips. If anything, it'll kind of work on your side because it'll probably be less calories, so people will keep coming back and they won't be getting bigger. All I'm saying is duplicate, engorge, deep fry, profit, refill drinks, refill sauces. All you gotta pay is rent. Okay, let's say these ideas, they require startup capital because you need to rent. Fine. Transportation business. Use Hermione's TARDIS bag spell, the same one that they use in Fantastic Beasts. And you're like, oh, I know that you're moving from New York to Toronto. Let me move your stuff for you. You put all the stuff in the bag. You can use the spell to make it levitate and go into the bag. You then apparate to where you need to go. You hang around for a couple hours so no one's suspicious. You get your tan on, and then you give the guy his stuff. You just made a lot of money because people pay good money for those kind of services, and your costs are zero. Maybe some advertising costs. Okay, last one, because I know I'm getting hung up on this idea. Start a jewelry store. All right, any vegans listening to this, you're not gonna love the next part. I'm gonna be frank with you. But for any non-vegans, I hope you understand where I'm coming from with this idea. But we've seen that you can transfigure rat into goblets. Now, I'm not sure if the Weasleys know this, but they live on a farm. So many rats on the farm. You open an Etsy store. You take orders in. Every time someone orders one, you find the nearest rat, you turn it into a goblet, and you send it off. So you take any of the business ideas that I've now presented. You take the GBP, the pound sterling, and you convert to gallons. And then you can live in luxury, like your orphan best friend. You guys can have all the money, no drip, together. Seriously, what was Harry wearing in some of these movies? Absolutely terrible. All I'm saying is the Weasleys have no grind mindset. Alright guys, I feel like you've listened to me yap enough for one day. That officially brings us to the end of part 1. I'll be releasing part 2 tomorrow. We'll be continuing this. I'll be talking about the Forbidden Forest, some spells that I feel like are a bit too overpowered, and a few other things that I don't really want to spoil. So subscribe and keep an eye out for that. Or if you're particularly keen, I'm releasing all 3 parts in one go on my Patreon. So consider supporting me there if you're interested. But otherwise, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.